Hey everyone, welcome back to Cutthroat Research. I'm Tyler, and we're here bringing you another episode this week. Me and Ryan are here,
Hello.
and we're going to go over some more spoiled cards from Set 3 Worlds Collide. So these were all spoiled by Brad. He runs the Amazing Spider Tank blog. I know he's done some pretty good showings at some Vault tours.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they were spoiled by various people, but he has them all on his blog, so
Yep.
big ups to him putting them all in one place.
Yeah, huge shout out compiling all those together into one single URL.
Making it much easier for people like us to look at them all at the same time.
And that's what we're going to do today. We're pretty much just going to go through, review some of the ones we haven't already seen, unless you specifically want to re-review any we talked about last week that were spoiled during the actual event itself.
They might be in here. I think this is literally everything that's been spoiled.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through this list, try and keep it kind of quick, say what it does, say what our thoughts are on it, how good we'll think it'll be.
Our locals is in an hour.
Huh?
Our locals is in an hour.
Yeah, we got to get going to our locals soon. So,
we're gonna get through this, but before we start, I want to say, anybody who listening to this, thank you guys. We appreciate the support. If you guys go on YouTube and subscribe, at 100 subscribers, I'm gonna do a deck giveaway. So
yeah, and we're probably gonna do other giveaways in the future too.
Yeah, definitely. As we grow, we're gonna plan more giveaways. I think I have 3 decks with 3 Cutthroat research in each of them. And I don't really want any of them, unfortunately. Like, the name fits the podcast, but it does not fit those decks at all. So we're gonna give those away in tiers as we grow on YouTube and other places. But we're gonna go into this article, try and get through these a little quickly, but give a impactful overview on them. Tyler, start us off with this.
All right, so we're just gonna go down the list. His first category is the Saurian Republic. So we're gonna have all new cards in this category.
Saurian Republic is the new Roman dinosaur house. The artwork's pretty cool, and there are a number of leaks for this house.
So the first card is already spoiled from the FFG article. It is Philosophosaurus, and that is the 4-power creature with the Reap effect. You may look at the top 3 cards of your deck, archive 1, add 1 to your hand, and discard 1. I think this card's amazing.
Yep, this card's amazing. We talked about it last week. If you guys want to get a more solid review of it, but digging through your deck is good. Adding 1 of 3 cards is good. Your graveyard is basically another deck in certain instances. So I think all around this card's great and super useful.
This is a powerful card. If you can keep it alive, just if you get 1 Reap out of it, it's a good card. 4 is also not the easiest to get rid of.
Yeah, it has good value and a decent survivable power.
All right. Oh, yeah, I can. That's awesome.
Nice.
So the next one, I believe, was also spoiled in the FFG article. Mm-hmm. It's a Paraguardian. It is a Saurian creature, 6 power, 1 armor, and it's the Reap effect where you may exalt Paraguardian. If you do, ward each of its neighbors. So how do you feel about this guy?
I like this guy. I think he's super useful. He plays into his own house well, but by benefiting the other houses next to him, it adds another level of strategy to the game. But I feel like it can be abused, but it won't be abused super easily. He's a big power. He's tough to kill. All around solid creature for sure.
What if you play this guy on turn 1, and then turn 2 you drop 2 Philosophosauruses next to him?
Yeah, and then reap with it, and you ward them both, and now you have 2 Philosophosauruses that you have to kill them twice.
Yeah.
Each. Like that.
Also, something that I was made more aware of since we first went over Ward. Ward reads whenever it would leave play or take damage.
So if you banish it or something.
So yeah, if you direct ward it, it also just remove or direct archive it, or banish it.
It'll just remove the counter.
Yeah, it'll just
great.
Go to the counter.
That's actually significant. Like that compared to just what we thought it was with damage being dealt to it or
it's
dying.
Pretty strong.
It is exponentially grown in usefulness.
All right, so here's the first of the cards that wasn't spoiled on the article. This one looks like someone took a picture while playing some games. I believe Brad took a lot of pictures while he was playing demo games.
Thankfully.
So this is Axiom of Grisk. and it is an action for Saurian. Just a play effect. Ward a creature, then destroy each creature with no amber on it and gain 2 chains. I think this is strong.
I think this is really, really strong. Absolutely.
Especially if you have things that have amber on them.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any capture even or
Yep.
exalted creatures, it
Yep.
could be a one-sided board wipe, which is outrageous.
I mean, imagine not that there's no Sanctum in the next set, but like think about like Equalize.
We were old Bruno.
Yeah, just
Charette,
Mhm.
if they're in the set. But yeah, it's... And even if you don't, if it's just an even board, this is a board wipe minus one of your best creature. Minus your best creature.
Yep. Think. I mean, on top of that, it's like you think about Coward's End. That's gain 3 chains, and it does this. But this has added benefit that can put you that much further ahead, and only 2 chains. So I think it's going to be a great board wipe.
I'll definitely take 2 chains to wipe everything except for my strongest asset.
Yep.
Like that sounds
absolutely
good. So this is a win in my book. Next one is a Saurian action as well with an amber bonus called Phalanx Strike. Its play effect is choose a creature, deal 1 damage to it for each friendly creature. You may exalt a friendly creature to repeat the preceding effect. So they worded it like the post errata bait and switch. So you can only do it once.
1 extra time.
But it's pretty good. It's like a cooperative hunting on a single creature twice. So you can wipe two creatures off the board if you have enough creatures.
Right, you have 6 creatures. That means you get to do 6 damage 2 different times.
Or even just to get 2 wards off the table.
Yep.
Even if you have just a single creature.
Absolutely.
You could pop a ward, exalt it, pop another ward.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty strong.
Yep, I think that's a good, like you said, that's a good counter card to warding because it does the damage in 2 separate instances.
I think this is solid. Saurian doesn't really have a lot of like lackluster cards we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all the hype cards we're seeing as the leaks come out.
So now we have another creature called Senator Shrix. It's a 4-power 1 armor creature in Saurian. You may spend amber on Senator Shrix as if it were in your pool, and he has a Plane Reap effect that you may exalt him. Ooh. So in this instance, the exalt doesn't give you an added benefit like for just exalting him, but his static ability is a pretty strong added benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty good.
So this I think this is going to be a skill testing card. It's a pretty high risk unless you're able to use it right away.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the play effect it's helpful for it, but it's going to depend on your ability to keep it alive. But it is.
But also, a 4/1 isn't the easiest thing to get rid of.
No, and I think the armor, instead of just being 5 power, is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I like the name, Senator Shrix, just to be like
Is
completely
he holding
on
a
top
brain?
of it. It looks like it. Yeah, he's holding a brain.
He's holding a brain. Yeah.
Nice. The other hand, is he holding like a lobster or something?
Is it a he? It might be a girl.
Maybe.
It might be a she.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. You're right with the toga.
I'm not good with dinosaur anatomy.
With a toga, that's pretty solid. Is it holding a lobster in the other hand?
I don't know.
It's weird looking.
Anyway.
Nice.
Next card in Saurian.
Yep.
It's an action, Chant of Hubris. It gives you 1 amber bonus when you play it. And as a play effect, move 1 amber from a creature to another creature.
This seems like it synergizes perfectly with the board wipe.
Well, not only that, but you can take from their creatures and put on yours if you have Senator Shrix.
Yep.
Or you can take from one of yours and put on theirs and kill it. And I mean, this is...
Yeah, it's super versatile for sure.
Saurian seems like the playmaking house. Like,
I think Saurian Logos with the right set of cards is going to be a big like rule of 6 problem. I think it has the most potential to be.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to keep blasting through these. Maybe at the end we'll go over like what some of the ones that stood out are for us. Like what our favorite is, the least favorite. Imperium. It is an action in Saurian with an amber bonus. Play, ward 2 friendly creatures.
See, I'm starting to see a pattern here with the warding, and I love the fact that Saurians are like so involved in warding as a mechanic, but like this card doesn't do anything when you don't have any creatures on board.
That's what I was gonna say. This card might feel super strong at first read.
They're starting to become problematic. Like if you get too much of cards,
if you have like 3 of these in your deck and not a lot of creatures, it might start to feel like, oh,
this doesn't really do anything, right? And maybe your other houses will be more sticky. Their creatures will be bigger and more survivable, but then like you have to depend on that happening and not drawing more cards of this house and then still not being able to play it to its full potential. Giving you an amber makes up for it a little bit, but nobody likes playing a card for no reason and getting an amber.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to get at least, or let's ward up to 2 friendly creatures. I just clicked off it because I'm the worst. Ward 2 friendly. Oh, so it's friendly creatures.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was gonna say you might be forced to ward your opponents, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
All right, we have another Saurian creature, Tricerian Legionnaire.
That artwork's great.
5 power, 1 armor creature with taunt, and his play effect is ward a friendly creature, so he could ward himself.
Yep, this seems significantly better than the last card in every single aspect.
Yeah, it comes on a body. This guy's sweet.
Yep.
This guy's a dinosaur bulwark.
We haven't been doing it, but what rarity is this guy?
Oh, yes, this is a common.
Oh my god, he's a common.
I don't think we've gone over.
That's
Let me
pretty
real
good.
quick just go over. Philosophosaurus was an uncommon. Paraguardian's uncommon. Axiom of Grisk is common. Failing Strike is common. Senator Shrix is common. Chant of Hubris is common. Imperium is common. And this guy's a common.
Oh my
So
god.
mostly common so far.
Very nice.
So the next one is the Colosseum. This is a pretty buzzworthy card that a lot of people have been talking about online on the groups. It is an artifact location in Saurian. No amber bonus. After an enemy creature is destroyed while fighting, put a glory counter on the Colosseum. And then it has an Omni ability. If there are 6 or more glory counters on the Colosseum, remove 6 and forge a key at the current cost.
This to me feels like a good example of a card that might not seem like it synergizes with Saurian by itself, but any other house, any Brobnar solid house or Dis, like anything with a high creature count in itself, it benefits from this, and it still will benefit from its own house as well. I think it's a good dichotomy of synergizing on its own and with other houses.
The best part of it is you don't have to be in a Saurian turn
to be gaining from it. Mm-hmm.
So it's a key cheat. Like this is.
It's a key cheat that sticks on board. Like if you don't have artifact removal, you have to consider this every single turn.
You got to get rid of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if it doesn't like speed up their game, it lets them forge a key before you can respond.
Right, and it's a threat that you don't get like an opportunity to deal with, like you said.
Now, if you were playing against this, would you consider stop playing creatures?
If I had board wipes.
Well, I mean, would you consider not play creatures if you didn't and they had creatures? Like, would you just not let them fight you?
Maybe. I mean, it depends how many creatures are in my deck and what cards I have that aren't creatures, and like what would deal with it. It would depend on the deck, obviously. I know.
Yeah.
Like,
I get that.
I can see that being something to consider. Like I would hope that I would think that way. And
but when you have this in a deck, you play it every time.
You always
you
play
never
it.
hold this back. There's no negative.
They don't get any amber from doing it or any counters or anything. Like there's
at least
nothing
not that
for
we
your
know
opponent.
of. There might be a card.
Yeah, there could be
does
something that
crazy
causes a synergy, but this on its own doesn't benefit your opponent at all.
I like it. This is one of my favorites so far.
Yeah,
that
it's
I've
just
seen.
a solid threat that sticks on the board.
And it's thematic.
Yep. Oh yeah, it is. The Colosseum, the artwork's really cool.
All right. Next Saurian card is an action. It's called City State Interest, and its play effect is each friendly creature captures 1.
Again, this seems like it just synergizes right up there with the board wipe and the creature.
This is
Senator Scrix.
This is gonna be great late game, like where you're just like, oh, sorry, can't forge a key because I have 3 creatures. So
Yep. Thanks, dude.
I feel like it's a better terms of redress.
It's a solid replacement Sanctum card.
Like we were saying with the last card with Imperium, if you don't have creatures, this does nothing. You don't even get an amber for this.
Yes. This is
So like imagine having a deck where you have like 3 of the Imperium, 2 of this,
and then
maybe 2 creatures. So
You're
you'd be like,
just
sweet, 2 Philosophosaurus. Actually, with Philosophosaurus, you just discard it.
Yeah, you can.
All right. You want to do the Star Alliance, guys? Since I read all of them.
If you want me to, yeah, I can do that for sure. See if I can use this mouse a little bit left-handed. Probably not. All right, so the Star Alliance. The first one we got is Captain Val Jericho. It is a 5 power, 1 armor, human. It is a leader as well. That's another type that I think just got added, right? There weren't leaders in the other sets.
I don't believe so. Yeah, it's a newer type.
That's pretty cool. So its effect is during your turn, if Captain Val Jericho is in the center of your battle line, you may draw or you may play 1 card that is not of the active house. So I think it is a very circumstantial card, and it's going to be a little difficult to pull off, but every time you get to use it, you're going to feel good. Like, it's a feel-good card.
I don't think it's hard to pull off.
It's not going to be, like, impossible, but it's, like, every turn, it's, like, do I have to... Like, just trying to constantly think about this every turn. I feel like people are going to forget about it at certain times.
Oh,
like,
people will definitely forget
it's going to be one of those cards people forget and be like, dang.
But I think it'll be... It's easy. I think it's easy to play around for you, but also easy to play around for your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the rarity of this one?
This one is a rare.
This is a rare, right? We went over that.
I believe so. Yes.
Awesome.
It's a little small to see, but
yep.
Yeah, I didn't go over those last ones because I'm the worst.
It's all good.
From Coliseum. Coliseum's a rare, and City State Interstate's an uncommon. All so right. Then Val Jericho was also spoiled in the FFG article, along with this next card.
This card, yeah. This next card is Force Field. It is an upgrade that gives you an Amber on play, and it says this creature gains Reap. Ward this creature. So it's like a self-sustaining outlet. It's good for any creature that needs to stay on board and gets a good Reap effect, because you're basically warding it while you're getting the effect from it. Overall, I don't see any downside to it outside of not having a creature. But I think we've seen a number of cards that aren't as strong as this that affect creatures. Warding 2 creatures when you have none feels a lot worse than like this upgrade that you can still use and get an Amber out of it.
Yeah, and it's an uncommon, so you won't see your decks flooded with it. I think this is a solid card.
Yeah, absolutely, a solid upgrade.
Alrighty, and we have
this one is Calm Officer Kirby. Interesting. The artwork is silly on this one. It is a 3-power human creature. It has play, fight, reap. You may play a non-Star Alliance artifact, upgrade, or action this turn. So basically, anytime it's used, including from your hand, you get to use one non-creature card from a different house, right? That's the only thing it doesn't cover is the creature.
Yeah.
So any non-creature, this seems like a logo-y card. This is a super...
I think...
access to other houses is a significant mechanic.
Bust out the tinfoil, because I think that they are future-proofing this card for if they come out with new card types. Because it doesn't make sense for them to just say one non-creature.
Yeah, true that. That makes sense. Instead of saying non-creature card, and then they come out with something that's not an artifact or an upgrade or an action.
Yeah.
Then this doesn't allow them to play that card in future sets. I mean, they could also remove it from future sets, but like they said, cards are always going to be coming and going as houses come and go too.
Yeah, I feel like
it's definitely a crafty move by them, but it's a smart one.
I feel like set 3 is really going to fully flesh out Keyforge and
as a
just
game, yeah.
how big everything is.
Yeah,
like it's going to finally feel like right now I feel like we see the same, I don't know, like 10 to 12 cards in each house show up as like the best, even with 2 sets out.
Yeah.
But I think this is really going to shake things up for that.
I agree. I think that's going to be a good time. The next card we got is Explo Rover. It is a little vehicular artwork. It is a 3-power creature and a robot. It has Skirmish. And it says, Explo Rover may be played as an upgrade instead of a creature. With the text, this creature gains Skirmish. I love that effect.
Yeah, there's a whole suite of them that's
cool.
been spoiled.
Yeah.
That do the same type of, like, they have an ability.
Give it this type of,
and then you can upgrade them with this to give them that ability.
Elusive and taunt and stuff, I'm sure.
And this is a common.
Nice.
So I wouldn't mind seeing a bunch of these.
Yes, this seems like an amazing card in all
Star
regards.
Alliance. All right. Next up, this is a cool one.
This one is an upgrade named Light of the Archons. It gives you an Amber. For playing it. This creature gets +1 power and +1 armor for each upgrade attached to it. So any deck that has a number of upgrades in it, this is going to be super beneficial. I think it's an okay card. I don't think upgrades are going to be super printed.
Well, like we just saw those creatures that you could play as upgrades.
As upgrades, right, yeah, that's what I was going to get to. But this is a common as well. So this synergizes with a lot of the Star Alliance. Probably most of them are robots, right?
But also, too, this is just kind of protect the weak. Kind of shoulder armor.
Sure,
yeah. Because it is an upgrade itself, so you get +1 power and +1 armor.
Right.
Just for putting it on something.
And the Amber. So it's nowhere, it's not in any realm a bad card. I just don't see it becoming a broken card. Yeah. Now we got another creature, human, named First Officer Frame. It is a 4-power human with Play, Fight, Reap. A friendly creature captures 1 amber. It seems alright. There's nothing wrong with it.
Solid.
Yep, it's a card that you're not going to be mad about having in your deck, and that's all that really matters to me. I'd rather have a bunch of mediocre cards than like a good combo with like bad cards in the other half of it.
It's a Niffle-Ape. Like, I never got mad that I got Niffle-Apes.
Yeah, that's a good card to
sweet
compare it to.
Niffle-Apes.
Can't wait to use this Niffle-Ape. My triple Niffle-Ape.
Yeah, Play, Fight, Reap is strong too because you get it on play.
Mm-hmm.
4 power puts it.
It can capture 1 on its own, so even if it's your empty board, it does something by itself.
I like it.
So,
I mean, all these new cards, I haven't seen any real duds. Maybe the upgrade card, maybe the card that just wards. But
Force Field.
All right.
We got another creature, Helmsman Spears, a 2-power creature, a human. With Fight Reap, discard any number of cards from your hand and draw a card for each card discarded this way. Anyone who knows me personally knows I'm a huge fan of discarding, whether it's me or my opponent. I love this card.
Yeah, this is strong.
I think this is super significant. Like having 2 of these, it is an uncommon.
It is an uncommon.
Having 1 or 2 of these in your deck, even if you have a few bad cards in your hand, it doesn't feel as bad. The whole deck doesn't feel as bad anymore.
I like cards that let you discard out of house.
Out of house,
a lot of people
like
said
Yerks.
They didn't like the Yerks, but I think the Yerks are strong. I think people don't realize, even if the cards you discard are good, like the ability...
I have a deck with 5 Yerks and an Appenseed.
That's awesome. That's great.
That's so cool. Just keep going, dude. Dig for the Appenseed.
Oh, I'm past you. Here we go.
The next creature we got is a 5-power named Lieutenant Kirkar. There's the only vowel in that name is an A, by the way. That's weird. It is a creature. It is an alien and a Handuhan. Handuhan. It sounds like hand-to-hand combat, like Handuhan. It has Taunt and Hazardous 3. All-around good card. Taunt's pretty good.
It's a common.
I'd like to see it have Deploy instead of Hazardous, but as a common, like, Hazardous is never bad, and especially with Taunt. Like, it's even better with Taunt.
I think that's not bad, especially in a set with Enrage. Because you can make it so that this is the only thing they can fight.
Right. Now it's like, just make them force and like kill their Archimedes. That's going to attack now. This is the target. Have fun. Yeah.
All right. So, continues the trend of pretty decent cards.
This card's got a cool name. It's a little robot artwork. It's Calvin. It's CALV-1N. 2 power, 1 armor, creature robot. It has Fight, Reap, Draw card. So kind of a quick slow. Right, that's his name.
It's like Quixo mixed with Doc Bookton,
Mm-hmm.
but not quite as good as either one.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's got Fight, Reap, Draw card, and it says Calvin may be placed as an upgrade instead of a creature, and the creature gains Fight, Reap, Draw card.
That's a good part. I love that part.
That is that's what I feel makes it on par, if not just a smidge better than Doc Bookton and Quixo.
Because if you have a ready creature already in Starlines, you choose it, upgrade them,
and then you get the
whatever
effect
you
of
do that turn, you draw a card.
It comes down to, do you want 2 creatures or do you want to draw a card now?
Yeah.
And most of the time, drawing a card now is better. Most of the time. Getting as many options as you can is usually the significant way to win card games. But yeah, moving on.
I mean, but also, you might want more creatures so you can reap more. It's a risk-reward thing.
Well, it depends. Yeah, if you're trying to win this turn, you know what I mean? You're more incentivized to do that if you're going to make a power play.
That's true. All right.
Another Star Alliance creature, Chief Engineer Walls. It is a 2-power creature human. It has elusive, and it has, I love this, Play, Fight, Reap. A lot of the creatures from this house have had all 3.
Yeah.
You may return an upgrade or robot card from your discard pile to your hand. I think this is great. I think this plays perfectly into that other creature that lets you discard as many cards as you want. Just set up for this.
And also
bring them all back, upgrade everything.
All the robots that are also upgrades.
Yep, it's just an all-around great card. There's a lot of synergy. Some of these, like pulling 2 or 3 of any combination of these cards is just going to be super solid.
I think, at first I thought Saurians were going to be really strong, but I think Star Alliance is going to end up being
the deck to
pretty
beat.
competitive.
Yeah, like Star Alliance and Shadows sounds like scary.
Star Alliance Shadows Logos.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I agree. Oh, speaking of, we got another action from Star Alliance.
Oh, wait. The last one was a... Oh, I didn't go back. I went forward.
It was a...
common.
Yeah, it was a common.
Chief Engineer Walls is a common. All right, now we have a rare.
We got Forging an Alliance. A rare that gives you an amber. It's an action that says play Play Forge a Key at 7+ current cost, reduced by 1 to a maximum of 6 for each house represented among cards in play. I think that's great. I think it's a great card if you like don't have board wipes, helping you get your last key right after they get huge. You know what I mean?
It's a key charge that gives you an amber if there are 6 houses in play.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be playing the direct opposite houses of your opponent,
and all of you have a big enough board to have one of everything, yeah, you get a key charge.
Or if someone has an experimental therapy on one of their creatures, you get a key charge.
Yeah.
Because that creature belongs to all houses.
All houses, yeah. That's pretty
watch
good.
out, all you top tier decks with experimental therapy.
Yeah, you gotta
You've
get
got
an alliance.
The bane of your existence.
Now we got a card called Quadricorder, an upgrade that says your opponent's keys cost +1 for each house represented among friendly creatures to a max of 3. So yeah, if you have all 3 of your houses on board, you can put an upgrade on your creature, and their keys cost 9 now. Doesn't seem bad.
Well, someone was saying, as we are in the age of getting rules down to a science, you still control, like, according to the rules, there's nothing that says you don't control upgrades attached to your opponent's creatures.
Okay.
So you could put this on your opponent's creature, too. As the rules are written so far, we're waiting on a more solid answer.
Okay.
And their keys would still cost more, and they're kind of incentivized to kill their own creature.
Because it's my card, but it says
it is
my
your
opponent.
Card. I believe that is going to be the way it's ruled, because otherwise color of subordination just wouldn't do anything.
Right, so that incentivizes
because it just
your
says
opponent.
You control the upgraded creature, but if you didn't control the upgrade while it was on your opponent's creature, they would just maintain control.
That forces your opponent to play less houses.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. I think that's...
or kill their creature by ramming it into one of yours.
Yeah, right.
If it is ruled that way. I don't know how they're going to go with it, but I know that it's been an argument in some of the forums. I think it's okay. I think it's, at best, it's a better grabber jammer, or a, what jammer pack?
Jammer
at
pack.
Worst, it's a worse jammer pack. And jammer pack's okay.
For sure. Next we got... a 3-power creature named Nurse Soto. It is a human. It has Deploy, which I like. I like that mechanic a lot. It has Play, Fight, Reap. Heal 3 damage from each of Nurse Soto's neighbors. That's pretty awesome. I don't see any problem with that card.
The fact that it's a play ability.
The play is what makes it actually ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a big one. I like that a lot.
Absolutely. And like this house, Star Alliance, I haven't seen too many big creatures. Like some are okay, and some of them are like, a lot of them are like 2-power, 3-power.
But with Saurian,
probably
Brobnar.
And Brobnar, exactly where I was going. Like that's a huge turn breaker. Like that can save a game for you, and it's also an uncommon. As Tyler's highlighting the bottom of the card for me to remind me to check that out. We got another card here called Psi Officer Morpheus.
We don't know if he has armor or not.
Yeah, it's a 2-power. Armor is covered by another card. After you play a creature with a play effect, trigger its play effect an additional time.
This is a good one.
This is a potentially game-breaking card.
This is great. Can you imagine, even if they only have 7 amber, stealing 3 with Ronnie?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, for real. Or like, man, I can't even like think about like Bumpsy.
Healing 6 from each neighbor with the last card.
Opponent loses 2. Yeah. Oh my God. Heal 6 for each. That's pretty great.
Yeah, this guy is he's gonna be in some combo. Before I even see other cards in this set, there's gonna be some combo with this guy that people are going to want.
Yep, there's gonna be a rule of 6 for this. Absolutely, like no doubt in my mind.
Well, it doesn't affect effects rule of 6. Just
but I feel like if something gets a rule of 6 and has this in it, like that becomes. Like, this has so much potential to just break the game. And that scares me, but I'm also very excited about it.
Yeah, I hope they have a little bit of foresight. This will be the first set where it was designed after release. Because set 1 and 2 were designed at the same time.
Right.
So they were kind of doing, like, live patches to things that may have slipped through the cracks in testing. This should be a more... I don't want to say, like... Because they were right. For a brand new game with a brand new system... I think Keyforge was incredibly balanced, even with its issues. Like, there were not a lot of game-breaking things. Like, even look at Force of Will, for anyone who played that card game when it came out.
Yep.
The first set had a lot of balancing issues.
Yep.
And the way they fixed it was just power creep.
Mm-hmm.
Like every set after that, it was wild.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have that problem with
Keyforge at all.
With Keyforge at all. It's for a game so young and so intricate. It's definitely doing its due diligence to remain.
Yeah, it's not power creeping. It doesn't feel like at all. It probably is a little bit if we like went and did like specific like analysis on it, but it doesn't feel like it's creeping like any other card game. Like it's very, very. I
feel like I definitely see still more set 1 decks, and not because of volume, because people like their set 1 decks better.
Yeah, and like you said, it might become a triangle meta where set 3 kind of set 3 forces positions for set 1 and 2 and makes this as we see in a lot of card games, triangular meta where each deck can counter one of the others, and then you have a good matchup and a bad matchup, or a neutral matchup if you're playing against someone with the same houses.
Yeah, for sure. But we to save you guys from having like a 2-hour video, we're gonna stop after the 2 new houses.
Yep.
And in the next episode, we'll go over all of the other released houses, and then if we see any other releases from now to then, we'll add those in too.
Yep, absolutely. And if any of you guys,
every time I see new cards, I've been like trying to not read so much so I can kind of experience them here.
Right.
I did see all of those cards because I'm spoiled. The new set, I wanted to see the new houses real quick.
Yep.
But these other ones, I haven't really looked at any of the other houses.
Yeah, I haven't done too much research, and I mean, it sounds like a bad thing because then we're trying to think of like synergies off the top of our heads. But I really like.
I just want a genuine reaction.
Yeah, I like the experience of everyone getting to get our first thoughts, not necessarily our afterthoughts of it being out and seeing what other combos people come up with. But
I'm hyped for Worlds Collide.
Yeah, I'm definitely. When we get to the place today, we got to remember to ask Tom when he's taking pre-orders.
I'm probably pre-ordering like 2 boxes ASAP just to make sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was it was a fast one, but we're kind of running on a time constraint here, and there's gonna be more content. I'm also gonna be uploading a gameplay video.
Nice.
We did 3 games with the 2 decks.
Yep.
I wasn't playing, but 2 friends of mine were. They're both kind of new players, but still pretty good players.
Mm-hmm.
So they're stronger decks in the hands of people who are trying to get to that next level of play.
Right, and they're not new to card games, they're just new to Keyforge. So they have that background knowledge to understand like optimally playing and trying to do like the best possible thing with the least amount of backdraw.
It was a pretty good set of games too. It was a fun to watch.
Awesome.
So I'll try and have that uploaded within the next couple days following the upload of this. Until then, we will see y'all.
We'll catch you later. Shout out to anybody going up to our locals in an hour that listens to this. You guys are awesome.
And just shout out to everyone. Everybody else
listening. Yeah.
Other podcasts. I know there's a lot of people covering this stuff, and it's been good information, and I love it. Let's keep it going.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Take care of yourselves.